In today's video, let's talk about how Russia's barrage of attacks to take over Ukraine will backfire. Before we get into today's video, don't forget to let us know in the comments below what you think of the war in Ukraine. The war has been raging for almost an entire year. Will it lead to World War III? As always, if you like this type of content, subscribe to never miss a new video and drop a like. Let's get into it. The recent Russian attacks against Ukraine have been characterized as an act of aggression and a sign of things to come, but many experts believe that these actions will actually backfire and end up weakening Russia in the long run. In this video, we'll explore how the Russian attacks on Ukraine are likely to backfire and hurt Russia more than they help. We'll also look at the potential consequences of such actions and what they could mean for the future of relations between these two countries. How Russia has attempted to destabilize Ukraine. Since 2014, Russia has used various tactics to destabilize Ukraine and undermine its sovereignty. These have included military aggression, economic coercion, energy manipulation, political interference, and disinformation campaigns. Military aggression. In 2014, Russia annexed the Crimean Peninsula from Ukraine and supported pro-Russian separatists in eastern Ukraine with arms and troops. This has led to over 10,000 deaths and has displaced over 1.6 million people. Economic coercion. Russia has used its energy resources as a weapon against Ukraine. It has repeatedly threatened to cut off gas supplies, and in 2006 and 2009, it actually did so, causing major disruptions in Ukraine. Russia has also used trade restrictions as a way to put pressure on Ukraine. Political interference. Russia has interfered in Ukrainian politics in various ways. It has supported pro-Russian candidates in elections, attempted to discredit reformist politicians, and used its media outlets to spread propaganda about the Ukrainian government. Disinformation campaigns. Russia has waged a relentless disinformation campaign against Ukraine since 2014. It has used state-controlled media to spread false information about the Ukrainian government and military, as well as using social media to sow division and discord among the Ukrainian people. Why Russian attacks will backfire. As the tensions in Ukraine continue to mount, many are wondering if Russia's recent aggression is leading the country toward another Cold War. While it's impossible to say for sure what would happen, it seems clear that any further Russian attacks on Ukraine would be a major mistake. Here's why. Number 1. The Ukrainian people are united against Russia. Since the beginning of Russia's aggression, the Ukrainian people have been overwhelmingly united against their common enemy. This unity was on full display during the Maidan Revolution when Ukrainians of all stripes came together to oust their pro-Russian president. Number 2. The international community is against Russia. Russia's aggression has not gone unnoticed by the international community. In fact, it has led to increased sanctions and isolation from the rest of the world. As long as Russia continues down this path, it will only further alienate itself from the rest of the globe. Number 3. Russia has overstretched its military. While Russia may have a large military, it is currently bogged down in two other major conflicts, Syria and Afghanistan. Any further escalations in Ukraine would likely lead to even more stretched resources and exhausted soldiers. Number 4. The sleeping giant NATO is awakened. Russia's main enemy, NATO, is outraged by the strikes on people so near its borders. U.S. President Joe Biden said at the last NATO meeting in Madrid that the United States would dramatically boost its military deployments in Europe. Along with sending more troops to the Baltics, this plan calls for a permanent headquarters to be built in Poland and 5,000 soldiers to be sent to Romania. The coalition has declared its intention to triple the current number of ready troops from 40,000 to over 300,000. General Secretary of NATO Jens Stoltenberg had said that the increase is in reaction to Russian activities in Ukraine. In addition, Stoltenberg said that the alliance would change its official attitude towards Russia from that of a strategic partner to one of a direct danger to our security, to our values, and to the rules-based international order. Since the conclusion of the Cold War, this has been the greatest boost to NATO defenses. As a result of Putin's misdeeds, Russia's neighbors have likewise sought closer relations with the West. For Finland and Sweden, those who long held neutrality with a point of national pride, the decision to join NATO represents a dramatic about-face. Moldova and Georgia, which used to be part of the Soviet Union and have always been close to Russia, have both joined the European Union. Putin never meant for the invasion of Ukraine by his troops to lead to the expansion of NATO and a boost in its military power. As a result of NATO's inability to come to a unified decision, Russia has been economically devastated and is now surrounded on all sides. The aggressive policies of the Russian Federation have been the last straw for many countries that used to be in its sphere of influence. This has led them to try to get closer to the West. What Putin's actions have led to. Since Vladimir Putin's annexation of Crimea in 2014 and his subsequent support of pro-Russian separatists in eastern Ukraine, the Russian president has been under heavy sanctions from the West. These sanctions, coupled with low oil prices, have led to an economic recession in Russia. In addition, Putin's actions have led to a further deterioration of relations between Russia and the West. How Moscow's tactic will backfire in the long run. Since the Soviet Union dissolved in 1991, Russia has been trying to regain its power and influence in the world. One way it is trying to do this is by taking over other countries such as Ukraine. However, Russia's tactic of taking over Ukraine is only going to backfire in the long run. This is because Ukraine is a very large and important country, and if Russia takes it over, it will only make other countries around the world more fearful of Russia's intentions. Additionally, taking over Ukraine will also likely lead to more economic sanctions being placed on Russia by the international community. In the end, Russia's tactic of taking over Ukraine is only going to backfire and further isolate it from the rest of the world. Who is in control of Ukraine right now? The situation in Ukraine is fluid and constantly changing, making it difficult to say who is currently in control. However, it is clear that the Russian government has been working diligently to destabilize the country and undermine its democratic institutions. Additionally, there are a number of separatist groups operating within Ukraine that is supported by the Russian government. As a result, it is fair to say that Russia has significant influence over the current situation in Ukraine. The future of Ukraine and Russia. The future of Ukraine and Russia is interlinked. If Russia continues its current course of aggression towards Ukraine, it will only further isolate itself from the international community and face economic difficulties. Additionally, its actions will continue to embolden Ukrainian nationalism, making it more difficult for Putin to achieve his goal of re-establishing Russian control over Ukraine. On the other hand, if Putin decides to back down from his current aggressive stance, he may be able to negotiate a power-sharing agreement with the Ukrainian government that would give Russia a degree of influence over Ukraine, while still allowing it to maintain its independence. This would be the best outcome for both countries, as it would avoid further conflict and allow them to focus on rebuilding their economies. An alternative solution. In the wake of the Crimean crisis, many are wondering if anything can be done to stop Russian President Vladimir Putin's continued aggression in Ukraine. Some have suggested that NATO get involved, while others believe that economic sanctions are the way to go. However, there is another solution that has not been getting nearly as much attention: arming the Ukrainian military. On the surface, this may seem like a foolish idea. After all, why would we want to arm a country that is already at war with another nuclear-armed nation? There are a few reasons why this could actually be a very effective strategy. First, it would send a strong message to Putin that we are serious about defending our allies. Second, it would help to level the playing field between the Ukrainian military and the Russian military. And finally, it would give Ukraine a much-needed boost in morale and confidence. Right now, they are fighting an uphill battle against a much more powerful adversary. If we can give them some additional support, it would make all the difference in the world. In conclusion, Russia's attempts to take over the Ukraine will backfire for a number of reasons. First, the Ukrainian people will not stand for it and will fight back. Second, other countries in the world will not allow Russia to get away with it and will take action against them. Finally, Russia is not in a position to win a war against Ukraine and will only end up losing more in the process. Thank you for checking out today's video. Let us know in the comments below. Do you think Russia's further attacks will blow up in their face? Pun intended. While you're here, why not check out another one of our videos on screen now?